Why does an induction cooktop look calm and silent, but a pan on top can get screaming hot in seconds without any visible flame? Because an induction cooktop doesn't heat the glass first. It uses a fast-changing magnetic field to push electric currents inside the metal pan, and the pan heats itself. Think of it like wireless power transfer, but instead of charging a battery, it turns electrical energy directly into heat right where you want it, the bottom of the cookware. Under that smooth glass surface is a coil of copper wire. Electronics feed the coil with alternating current, usually at tens of thousands of cycles per second, much higher than the 50 or 60 Hz in your wall outlet. When current alternates, the magnetic field around the coil alternates too, expanding and collapsing over and over. The glass is mostly just a protective window. The real action is the magnetic field sweeping through the pan. Now here's the key: a changing magnetic field doesn't just sit there. It encourages charges in a nearby conductor to move. When the bottom of a conductive pan sits in the changing field, the pan experiences induced circulating currents, called eddy currents. They loop and swirl inside the metal like invisible whirlpools. And the moment you force current through a material that has electrical resistance, you get heating. That's simple Joule heating. Electrical energy turns into thermal energy inside the pan itself. A great mental model is a transformer. In a transformer, a primary coil creates a changing magnetic field that induces current in a secondary coil. Induction cooking is similar, except that secondary coil is basically the pan. And it's almost like a short circuit on purpose: low voltage, very high current loops in the metal. High current plus resistance equals rapid heating, focused right at the cookware's base. So why do some pans work and others don't? Two properties matter. First, the pan needs to conduct electricity so eddy currents can form. Second, practically speaking, it usually needs a magnetic base, like cast iron or many stainless steels designed for induction. Magnetic materials couple strongly to the field, which boosts the effect and makes heating more efficient. Plain aluminum or copper pans often won't work unless they have a bonded magnetic layer on the bottom. That's why induction-compatible cookware often sticks to a magnet. There's another piece of physics that makes induction feel so fast: the skin effect. At high frequencies, alternating current in a conductor tends to crowd near the surface instead of flowing uniformly through the whole thickness. In cookware, that means much of the induced current concentrates near the pan's bottom surface, exactly where you want the heat. So you're not slowly warming a thick chunk of metal from the outside in. You're generating heat close to the cooking surface, quickly, and then conducting it into the food. And that explains the cool glass illusion. The glass cooktop isn't where the strong currents are flowing, so it's not the main heating element. It does warm up, but mostly from contact with the hot pan and a bit of radiant heat. Turn the cooktop off, and the magnetic field stops almost instantly, no glowing burner. The remaining heat you feel is just the pan transferring warmth into the glass. This is also why induction is so controllable. The electronics can adjust power by changing how strongly and how long they drive the coil. Less energy into the field means weaker induced currents, and the pan's heating rate drops immediately. That fast response is hard to match with traditional electric coils that first need to heat themselves. It's efficient too: less heat dumped into the room, more heat delivered straight into the cookware. So the magic isn't magic. A high-frequency magnetic field creates eddy currents in the pan, and the pan's own resistance turns that electrical motion into heat right at the bottom surface. Now I'm curious, what should we break down next? Wireless phone charging, or how a transformer moves power without direct contact?